Hey guys, it's me Merlin, your keyboard wizard, here with another custom keyboard review. Today, it's the Thera 75, a new plateless gasket mount from Createkeebs, inspired by the island of Thera. I had the opportunity to unbox and build this on stream, so make sure you take some time and check out those videos. In the meantime, make sure you stay tuned till after the break to catch some quick thoughts and opinions. In the last few months, we've seen some pretty exciting 75s. The Thera seems to have borrowed some key features such as a PE foam and flex-cut PCB from the OWL Labs Jelly Epoch, a similar mounting strategy as the 7V from GOG, and a screwless aesthetic from the Gone Hacking Studios RAR. They're doing this all for the relatively low price of $260 and with the delivery, at least for the first 500 units, of December 2021. For the rest of the features, be sure to check out the specs page in the links below. I built my board using Boba LT switches provided by Novelkeys. I only used the case in PE foam and completely omitted the plate foam, and I topped this with ePBT ABS Yolch. One of the things I love here is the layout. I'm not a fan of the scrunched up 75% form factor and greatly prefer this exploded look with the arrow keys, rightmost column, and F row separated from the main cluster. The one thing I didn't appreciate was that my prototype did not have the dual 1.5U support to the left of the arrow cluster. However, the production unit will. Weighing in at roughly 2.1 kilograms, this board has some heft. But it's not so heavy that it's unwieldy to move around your desk. I know, that's not usually a use case for most people, but when you have lots of boards and like to swap them around like me, being too heavy is not a good thing. In terms of sound, I'm more a deeper sound kind of guy, and the switches I used have too much clack, and I'm not 100% happy with them. However, the overall sound of the board is fairly pleasant, except for maybe the space bar, which is very high-pitched. I've been informed that I was not the only streamer who had issues with this, but finagling with the case foam should remedy the issue. The board looks absolutely gorgeous to me, but I do have to say that the Thera badge is not my deal. I would have preferred something less sparkly and maybe just some logo on it of sorts. The badge position is also irksome. It needs to be moved ever so slightly to the right so that the rightmost column is centered. I do have to mention that my anodization wasn't perfect as well. There's this tiny little blotch, not super visible except when angled correctly in the right lighting. I was very concerned that a plateless board with flex cuts on the PCB would be too flexy for my taste, and boy was I right. You can see in my build video that every time I put a keycap on, you could very easily see the PCB flex. Don't worry, this isn't normal flexing when you're typing. This is only happening when you put keycaps on, or possibly if you're rage quitting. Without the case foam, I felt that the board was way too flexy for me, and that my accuracy was being hampered. So while I thought that the board sounded better without the case foam, I also probably would never have used it. So use case foam if you have the same issues as me. I jumped at this board expecting it to be a replacement for my Jelly, simply because I thought I'd get a very similar sound and feel, but in the exploded layout and aesthetics similar to my 7V. I feel that while the Thera is successful in borrowing features from other great 75s, it doesn't implement it to the same degree that made those aforementioned boards desirable. I feel like this is a great board where the following adage applies. A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Overall, for a price of $260 and a relatively quick delivery, this is an outstanding board. It may not necessarily win a fight against higher tier boards, but it will definitely put up a strong fight. Thanks for watching everyone, and I'll catch you next time.